98.9 FM for the best country. We are Zoomin with Human, and it's a pleasure to be speaking with this human right now. One of the biggest acts in country music, Mr. Kip Moore. How are you, brother?
I'm doing good, my man. Doing good.
Excellent. What a crazy times. How many times have we heard that lately? But crazy times. We're doing interviews on Zoom. Tours are cancelled. It's all crazy, man. How have you been coping?
I've been okay. I've got a lodge in the Kentucky mountains. I've been doing a lot of rock climbing. I built this place about 2.5 years ago, and it normally holds about 28 people a night in yoga retreats, rock climbing, some of the best rock climbing in the world. So it's just been me and a couple buddies of mine that have been holed up here, and we've been climbing a bunch. And yeah, I mean, that's been my world. I've been writing every single morning, and that's just trying to keep my mind occupied, you know.
How'd you get into rock climbing, man? That's pretty extreme stuff.
Yeah, I got into it recently. I've been surfing for a few years and kind of looking for that rush, not being able to live by the ocean. And my buddy that I opened this lodge with, he's a big climber, and he taught me in the past year, and I've just gotten so hooked on it, and I've been doing it about every day for the last 3 months in this quarantine. So I've really got the bug now, but it gives me that charge, that grand charge that I need a lot in my life.
Some other crazy stuff you've been up to in isolation. We've seen, people doing all kinds of weird and wonderful things, but other than rock climbing, have you been getting stuck in anything abnormal or a bit odd?
Nothing's really been abnormal for me. Like I said, I mean, I'm right in the heart of some of the best climbing in the world. So, the only thing abnormal for me is, I find myself hanging on a 100-foot cliff face sometimes, which is a little sketchy, but there hasn't been too much abnormal for me.
Yeah, very cool. So we were pumped to have you down, in Australia. Unfortunately, that didn't happen due to coronavirus. But does it blow your mind that you've got fans on the other side of the world that just go mad for you? Like, there's so many Australians, the people that love Kip Moore.
Yeah, I've said it so many times in interviews all over the world that I have truly fallen in love with Australia as a country. We were first there in 2015, and we built such a loyal fan base through such an organic way, through those live shows. And we felt the magic happen in that first year we were there. We were opening the band. And man, I love the people so much. The interactions that I've had there have been powerful. The conversations I've had in little bars. And, I've told myself, and I mean this in a very serious way, I could see myself living there for a while. I've been actually thinking, I love it so much, man.
Well, we got some great beaches and some pretty big rock faces too for you to go nuts on.
yeah, you got some great surf there, man. So that's what I'm itching to get a hold of.
Absolutely, you'll have to come and live in Queensland. It's the only place.
That's what I hear.
Awesome. Now your music, I don't know, straight away when you hear a Kip Moore song, you know it's you. You got that husky, gravelly voice. Does that just come natural when you open your mouth, or did you work towards having your own sort of sound?
I mean, I think that I'm just talking normal right now, and it just kind of comes out like I got nails in there. It's just kind of what it is. I don't know if that's just the South Georgia. But yeah, it just kind of, I definitely had to work to strengthen my voice for sure, to endure all the touring that I do. And maybe that has kind of caused some of it because I've toured so hard for so long that maybe it's gotten more and more edgy as far as the grit in it. But I mean, that's just kind of what happens when like right now, it just kind of is what it is.
When you first signed your first record deal, I mean, what was that like? What did you do? How did you celebrate?
Oh man, I mean, I celebrated by immediately writing "Faith When I Fall," which is on the first record. Um, it was a very trying journey for me to get to that point. I can remember, some of the situations that I lived in, going through whole winters where I couldn't afford my heat, and just laying in my bed, watching my breath. I can remember being in single digit Fahrenheit, not Celsius. And, I thought back on all those things when I signed that record deal and all the shows that I had done trying to get people to notice what I was doing. So to sign with, Universal Records, one of the, everybody knows about Universal Records. It was a pretty surreal moment for me, a very grateful moment for me. But I knew that was just the start of, the journey.
When did you know you wanted to be a performer, a singer, writer? Was it from a very, very early age?
No, I was all about sports up until I was 18. I got a basketball scholarship to go play ball around Birmingham, Alabama. And I got my first guitar at 18, and I immediately fell in love with that. And I'd always been in love with music. I'd always been obsessed with lyrics and storytelling. And the minute I got that guitar, I felt, a definite shift in my priorities. Sports started kind of taking a back seat, and that's all I wanted to do was write music and practice guitar. So I started playing the bars when I was probably 20. From 20 to 22, that's all I did every Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. And then I finally moved to Nashville at 23.
It's a hard time for us sports fans. I love my American sports as well. Blazers are my basketball team, and Seahawks are my football side. Who do you follow?
Oh man, I love all of it, man. But I definitely I'm gonna be pulling for Tom Brady this year, so I'll be pulling for the Bucks in football. I'd like to see something special. I pull for Kawhi Leonard in the NBA. That's my guy.
The Claw.
Yeah. So what's that?
The Claw.
Oh man, yeah. And I've always pulled for the Braves in baseball. I mean, it's kind of always been my thing. And so yeah, I mean, those are. I definitely love to watch sports. I love watching boxing. I love watching UFC and all those things. So it's always, all of them kind of taking a hit. Roger Federer. I love watching tennis. I was so excited to get to play the arena where they have the Australian Open, and all that got shut down. So, hopefully we'll get to do it again.
Absolutely. Rod Laver Arena there. Did you catch any Australian sport? You see any rugby league or AFL?
That's what I'm hoping to do the next time that I'm there. Is have a chance to get out and see some of those games. I just didn't have rugby where I grew up. In South Georgia, there was no rugby, so it's such a foreign thing to me in that sense. So I'm hoping that I can, the next time I'm there, spend a little extra time in the country, maybe a couple of weeks, and get a chance to catch a game.
I'll tell you what, brother. If you come up to Brisbane, I'll take you under my wing, and we'll go to a Broncos game at Suncorp Stadium. How's that sound?
Hey, I'm in, man. I'm in.
Awesome. What about Australian country music? Have you heard much of what our guys have got?
Well, I've always been so quickly in and out of there that I haven't, really had a chance to dive into the scene. My understanding of Australian country was like Daryl Braithwaite. I knew his stuff. So I got to do a festival. Yeah, I got to do a festival with him when I first, got there. But I just, those guys weren't getting played on American radio when I was coming up, so I didn't really get a chance to, to hear them. So and every time I've been there, I've really never been on a bill with an Australian act. So and we're in and out so fast that we don't really get a chance to hear any.
Well, we're gonna have a good time, man, because you're gonna come with me, and we're gonna go check out some Aussie bands while you're here as well. All right?
I'm in, man. I'm in.
Awesome. Wild World is the new one. Can you tell us a little bit about this record?
Yeah, this record, it took me about a year to make. I sole produced this one, and Wild World, the actual song, which is the title track, sums a lot of it up. I think there's a lot of search on this record, a lot of search for understanding, which is where I've been at in my life and trying to figure out who I am and where I fit in the grand scheme of this whole thing, and what this whole thing is happening around us, and faith, and what God looks like to me, and facing old regrets and digging up those bones and making peace with them. The search for simplicity. I think it's all those things encompassing in one thing.
Well, we're going to put the link in the video somewhere, so make sure you check it out. And we can't wait to have you back in Australia, mate, when all this settles down, and we'll get along to that footy game. How's that sound?
Take care, brother. I appreciate it. I look forward to it.
Awesome. Thank you. Kip Moore.
Later, man. See you.